In lesson 4.12, we are looking at a group of functions called piecewise functions. Piecewise functions are essentially input and output relationships where, depending on what your input is, not only do you get different outputs, you might also have an entirely different rule on how to find those outputs. Now, that might sound a little confusing, but we're going to look at a few examples here that will hopefully clear things up. In problem 12.1, we're given a scenario where a frozen yogurt store sells their frozen yogurt, and their pricing changes depending on how much frozen yogurt you buy. Specifically, if you buy between 0 and 8 ounces, you get charged 50 cents per ounce. So as long as your input is between 0 and 8 ounces, your output can be found by doing 50 cents per ounce. However, if you buy more than 8 ounces, up to 12 ounces, so between 8 and 12 ounces, then instead, you are no longer charged 50 cents per ounce, you are now just charged $4. So we have completely different rules for figuring out pricing depending on how much frozen yogurt you purchase. Now what we're going to try to do is figure out which graph represents this situation. Now there are a number of ways you could go through this process. I'm just going to talk about going through each graph one at a time to figure out why it does or does not work. So in graph A here, I notice if I buy, for example, 2 ounces of yogurt, I get charged $1. So that's 50 cents per ounce, that works. The same is true for 4 ounces and $2, 6 ounces and $3, 8 ounces and $4. All of that seems fine so far. But remember, if I were to buy, for example, 10 ounces, I should still get charged $4, but I don't. I get charged $5. So this graph does not work. If I look at B, I can do a similar argument. Okay, 2 ounces charges me $1, 4 ounces charges me $2, 6 ounces charges $3, 8 ounces charges $4. So far, so good. Let's check out 10 again. For a $10 purchase, for 10 ounce purchase, remember I should be charged $4 because that's the specific rule. And in this case, I actually am. So this seems to be working a little bit better. And actually, it's kind of important, for anything between 8 and 12 ounces, I do get charged $4. So graph B seems to work. If we look at graph C, well, it's pretty clear this one doesn't work because I get charged $4 no matter how much I buy, and that's just not correct. Remember, if I buy 2 ounces, I should get charged $1. And then for our last one here, not even really sure what's going on with this one. In this case, I get charged something like 2/3 of a dollar if I buy 2 ounces, where I should be getting charged $1. The only price on this entire graph that's actually correct, it looks like, is the last one, where if I get the full 12 ounces, I get charged $4. But the rest of it looks no good. So C and D both don't work, leaving us with B as the only option. So last thing we want to do here is, now that we've kind of talked through what the pricing should look like, let's try to write down an algebra rule for this function. Now the way we write piecewise rules is we write them as the rule followed by the condition. When do we use that rule? So one of our rules here is that we could get charged 50 cents times the number of ounces, which they tell us here is W, is the number of ounces, as long as W is less than or equal to 8 ounces. Technically, it should be greater than or equal to 0 as well. We're not going to have negative ounces. The other rule is that we get charged $4 no matter what if we buy between 8 and 12 ounces. So there is my second rule. Now you'll notice one thing that I do here, which is that I very specifically use the less than or equal to symbol right here, but only use the less than symbol right here. And that's because if I look up into the rule again, they tell me it is $4 for any serving that is greater than 8 ounces, not greater than or equal to 8 ounces. The inequality symbols you use in these rules can be pretty important, so you want to be paying careful attention to which rule goes with which condition and which kind of like endpoints should be included in which condition.